You might be wondering, why the ecological detective? What does that have to do with models and statistics and all the topics that we cover in the course? Well, actually, it has a lot to do. I took the idea of the name The Ecological Detective from this book by Ray Hilburn and Mark Magel. I recommend you to read it. It's really well written, interesting, and covers a lot of the topics that we will see in the course. What Hilburn and Magel argue, and I totally agree with, is that the work of ecologists and detectives is similar in a lot of ways. Think about it. Detectives have to reconstruct the whole story of a crime based just on a few pieces of evidence or clues. Ecologists usually work with a sample of the population they want to study and have to use statistical inference to discover things about the population. A detective usually has a list of suspects of the crime and has to use the clues and evidence to discover the real guilty. Ecologists usually work with competing hypotheses and need to use their data and evidence to decide among them. No wonder that one of the most famous detectives of all times, the good Sherlock Holmes, has a lot of quotes that are quite applicable to the field of statistics and ecological modeling. Probably the most famous one is this:
Eliminate all other factors, and the one which remains must be the truth. Ecological detectives can rarely eliminate all other factors, unless perhaps when they have a really well designed and controlled experiment. However, through Bayesian statistics, for example, they can assign probabilities to different hypotheses and then use evidence to weigh those probabilities. And if the evidence is good enough, they can decide among them. Here is another example. Having gathered these facts, Watson, I smoked several pipes over them, trying to separate those which were crucial from others which were merely incidental. This quote reminds me a lot of a key step in ecological modeling. That when we have to decide which elements of our ecological systems we want to include in our models. As models are always simplifications of nature, we have to decide what is crucial in our system to understand the process or pattern that we are studying, and which elements of our system are not.
To sum up, the work of ecologists and detectives is similar in many ways. While normal detectives try to solve mysteries associated with crimes, ecological detectives try to solve the mysteries of nature.